It appears almost unreal, but nowadays you can still buy a very good watch from a big brand for under $300 and most of the time for under 100, as I will show you in this video. Hi, I'm Olivier. A very warm welcome to both new and returning viewers. In this channel, I search for deals on entry-level watches that are always of the best quality. If that resonates with you and you haven't yet, I would be delighted if you would consider subscribing to the channel. And just as returning subs might have noticed, these used up couch and red wall aren't usually my filming set, but I'm on vacation, so please excuse the crude background. And also don't worry, I am aware there's a big AliExpress sale right around the corner, but I've covered those a few weeks back, so I wanted to focus on other watches. Speaking of which, let's start with the least expensive and then work up our way up as we usually do. And the first one is the Casio A700W for $29. This is the classic version with a link bracelet, not with the Milanese. A pretty small watch at 35.5mm in width by only 37.5 in height, sometimes sold as being for women. It wears marvelously well on male wrists equally. The small package is enough to carry a very basic module with date and a month display, a chronometer and an alarm. That is all that Casio thinks that you need to cover your bases. As positives, you've got a very attractive design, a modernized take, if you will, on the classics 158 and A168. Also, the bracelet is pretty decent for a Casio at this price point compared with other hair-pulling stuff. The LED light is also a plus, especially since Casio is shying away from the beautiful electroluminescence of yesteryear, which is supposed to degrade with time. As negative, it is a significantly more expensive watch than the A158s and 168s, with pretty much the same specs and materials. Speaking of materials, the case is only chromed resin, even though the bracelet is indeed stainless steel. But still, you cannot go wrong with this watch at only under $30. The next watch in the selection is the Casio MDV106, most well known as the Duro. And I speak to you about this watch once again because it is one of the best sellers on Amazon, and for one reason, it is because it is an amazing watch. It might be a little bit big at 44.5mm in diameter, but it is still made wearable on medium-sized wrists due to its under 50mm in lug-to-lug. It is a through-and-through diver with 200 meters of water resistance. It is of course a quartz watch with a Casio quartz module on it, some luminescence, although it is not great, you still have some luminescence, and an aluminium 120 click rotating bezel that is actually pretty good for a watch at under $50. Yes, this watch costs under $50 with 200 meters of water resistance, a screw down crown and a classic design. It is so classic that even Bill Gates has made this watch famous by wearing it countless times. It might not be the most refined of watches, its finishing is pretty good. You can really not go wrong with the Casio Duro, especially with this version which shows the margin at 6. The next watch of the selection, it is the Boderry Voyager, and this watch has the characteristic of being a titanium watch, which is quite a rarity, especially at this price point. We're talking $98, so less than $100 here for an automatic watch. This is also the first automatic watch of the selection, and you've got a Seiko NH35 in here, or an NH36 day date, depending on the model you choose, which is really good for the price point and the materials that are being used on this watch. It is also very good for the luminescence that you're getting. Some people are saying that this watch is a homage of something else. I really do believe that the model is pretty original. I might be wrong, but in any case, The whole package you're getting, a 100 meters thread and crown titanium field watch, it is really a good package that you're getting in here. The downsides might be its elongated lugs, which make this 40mm watch go up to 49mm in lug to lug. If you choose the full titanium strap version, the watch will be pretty much unwieldy on medium-sized wrists. I would therefore recommend you to stick with the canvas strap. The next watch in the selection is a watch from a company that is usually mocked by watch snobs, which is Invicta, but this watch is the Invicta 1953, and I do believe that even watch snobs respect this watch. As the name implies, it is a direct homage of the Rolex Submariner from 1953, even with the pencil hands and not yet the Mercedes hands, and the gilt hands and markers. The case is typical 5-digit Submariner with a dimension of 40mm in diameter by 14.5mm in thickness, around 48mm in lug to lug, and 20mm in lug width. The bracelet is made out of solid links, although you have hollow end links, and the clasp is just hollow pressed metal. It does have 4 levels of micro adjustment though. This is a very handsome watch, and really one that I would recommend. If there's one watch from Invicta that you have to look at, it certainly must be this one. The case is quite intricate with a brushed upper surface and brushed sides, which are separated by a pretty thick polished seam. Really well done. I did a review on this watch a while back if you want to take a look at it for more details. You've got a Seiko NH35 in here. The looks and the Seiko NH35 will be the positive points in here. The negative points will be, of course, the kind of negative press Invicta gets that they have certainly deserved, and some of the elements that are not to the level, like the lume of the watch. But still, for $120, it is a very good deal that you're getting. Another great watch that I used to talk about a lot at the beginning of the channel, the Orient Kamasu. And this is the first of the 3 versions that exist now, and I still believe the most elegant, at least to me. This is the green dial version. There's also the black dial version for a little over $200. 41.5mm in diameter and a sapphire crystal. And I believe that has helped to kind of signify that this watch is something more than its big brand competitors. You get 200 meters of water resistance, a screw-down crown, and a day-date mechanical movement from Orient. So this movement is in-house. 41.5mm in diameter, a little under 13mm in height, 22mm in lug width. The bezel rotates 120 times. The rotations are a bit stiff at the beginning, but they get softer with time. The lume is actually pretty good, as it should be on a diver. The positives of this watch, it is, I believe, one of the most elegant diver watches that you get at this price point, around the $200 mark. That sunburst, especially the sunburst steel dial, is really elegant, complemented by those elongated indices and hands. Look at that minute hand, how long that sword hand is. Very good. On the negative points, you've got that bracelet. That bracelet is just, I don't believe it goes with the elegance of the rest of the watch. It is a bit thick, so I changed it for something else, and I believe it goes much better with it. Another thing that people complain a lot about this watch is the crown, the size of the crown that is a little bit too small. But all in all, you get an excellent package in here, and if you can have it around the $200 mark, it is an excellent deal. Last year, Citizen released one of the latest updates of its Promaster, and that is the NY129. And this 200-meter ISO diver is really something else, addressing a lot of issues that were lacking with their classic NY0040 and other divers. Not all of the issues, but a few of them, especially regarding the bracelet. This diver has a modernized look, based, however, diver on a diver from the 70s from Citizen. It does have some Mercedes hands, like another brand that we cannot mention. I did a review on this watch that I still own, by the way, and is, I believe, one of the better ISO diver releases that Citizen has released from the Promaster line. 41 millimeters in diameter, a thick 13.7 millimeters in height, and around 48 millimeters in lug to lug, 20 millimeters in lug width. This is a pretty thick watch, and you will certainly feel that you've got a big watch on your wrist, even though that lug to lug and that thickness will say the contrary. The thing that Citizen have addressed with this watch is especially the bracelet. The bracelet is made out of full links, full end links, and a clasp made mostly out of solid elements. You even have an on-the-fly adjustment, which is a very, very nice thing to have at a watch at this price point. The price point at this time, this watch costs $267. The big thing that this watch is lacking is a sapphire crystal, though it only has a mineral crystal, and that is a pity, and I believe that is the fact that it has not been a little bit more popular, because if it had a sapphire crystal, it would have boomed in sales, I believe. In any case, at 44% off, I do believe it is a great option by Citizen and one of the best ISO divers to come out under $300 in the last years. The last watch of the selection is kind of a bonus watch. It is a watch that is a legend, that was discontinued 5 years ago, but that is still around here and there. It is, of course, the Seiko SKX here on its 009 Pepsi mount. It does cost quite a bit, especially for a watch with such a rudimentary 7S26 movement, but it is a legend and is a new old stock. Almost $600, but you can still at that price get this legend on your wrist. Let me remind you quickly the specs: 42.5 millimeters in diameter, a little over 13.5 millimeters in thickness, only about 46 millimeters in lug to lug, and 22 millimeters in lug width. This is, of course, an ISO diver as well, but as I mentioned, the downside of this watch will be its very rudimentary movement. The 7S26 doesn't have hacking or hand winding, so you end up having to do the Seiko shuffle in order for it to come to life if it has stopped. Thank you so much for having watched the video. I really hope it was useful. If it was, please subscribe to the channel by hitting on the big button below, and don't forget to check the reviews in here to see other great deals that I have searched for you. Thanks again, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Goodbye.